thank you for attending. My appreciation also to the band, who always represents the division so well. And I'd also like to thank my aunt and uncle, Captain and Mrs. Holden, for flying up here from Georgia. Their being here is really representative of just the steadfast support I've always received from my family. And unfortunately, my mom can't be here today, her health just doesn't allow it. But I know she's here in heart, and she would really be loving this right now. I mean, this is her kind of thing. Before acknowledging anyone else, I'd also like to publicly express my appreciation to my wife, Chris. When the timing of my assumption of command moved off cycle, she and I quickly realized that it wasn't practical to move our family here. And we were faced with a decision of turning down the command or living apart for a couple of years. And selflessly, she assumed the role of a single parent and gave up any of her own personal intentions that she had as being a brigade commander's wife, simply because this was so important to me. And without her support, none of this would have been possible for me. And so I've always been so proud to be her husband, and I just want to say thanks. I also owe a great deal to Major General Fine. I was very excited for the opportunity to command at the Vardy because I thought it would be a great way to demonstrate the role that the newfound organization should play within the division. Many of the arguments for bringing back the Vardys had centered on past structures and past roles, and I saw this command as an opportunity to influence this discussion towards the future and the role that the Vardys should play in defeating the potential adversaries that lie ahead of us. And from the outset, Major General Pyatt was my biggest advocate. From our first meeting, and I don't know if he remembers this or not, but where he told me that if we won the warfighter, he was taking all the credit, and if we lost, it was all my fault. The CG empowered me to lead the fires enterprise within the division. His simple 9-word intent that intel drives fires, fires drives maneuver, and sustainment drives op-tempo established an operational design that led with fires and made the DeVarty integral to the division's lethality. Because of this vision, this division has had significant influence on how the entire Army employs DeVartys and how fires are structured across the entire force. I couldn't have asked for a better mentor or advocate, and sir, the climate you set really enabled the DeVarty to define itself. The entire fires community owes you a great deal, so thank you very much. I also couldn't have asked for a better group of brigade commanders and command sergeants major with whom to work. There was never a sense of unhealthy competition between us, just always a genuine mutual effort to work together and make the team as good as it could be. Many thanks to them for all I've learned from each of them over the past 2 years. I have been blessed over the past 2 years with wonderful Command Sergeants Major myself. So Command Sergeant Major and Sarah Dasher welcomed me to the DeVarty and helped make Fort Drum my home. And then Command Sergeant Major and Jocelyn Quiros have been the best partners Chris and I could ever hope to have. The DeVarty has known no better standard bearer than Command Sergeant Major Quiros, and I am deeply grateful for all he and Jocelyn have done for the unit and its soldiers. Today, Command Sergeant Major and Jocelyn Quiros are being joined by a wonderful inbound command team. I've enjoyed getting to know Jason and Shelley Williams over the past months, and probably the only thing that makes departing palatable is knowing that DeVarty will be in such great hands. I look forward to hearing all about all that DeVarty will accomplish under Jason's overwatching leadership. So 2 years ago, I was unsure what to expect when I arrived at Fort Drum. Despite the fact that my father was born in Watertown and my grandfather is actually buried in Watertown Cemetery, I was a Georgia native who had never been to the area before. But over the last 2 years, I have grown to love this area and this unit. In all of my assignments, I've never seen a community that embraces the military as this area does, and I've never seen or never experienced a unit with a culture quite like 10th Mountains. Some call it Blue Collar Division, or use sayings like we do Windows. These sayings are reflective of the division's mindset, but I don't think they fully capture the culture. I think the culture is better expressed in the motto and the iconic military mountaineer monument in Fort Drum's Memorial Park. Icons speak volumes about an organization. 1 AD has a tank, 3rd AD has a bulldog, 4th AD has an iron horse, and even the vaulted 82nd has a lone and single soldier. 10th Mountain is the only division in which I've served where its monumental statue includes more than one soldier. And I think this is telling, particularly when paired with this unit's motto, Climb to Glory. The military mountaineers, 2 soldiers with one helping the other on this climb, are highly indicative of the 10th Mountain's culture. There's not a lot of glitz, just hard-working soldiers helping each other achieve their greatest potential. This culture is what I've enjoyed most about my time in this division. The commander of CJTF OIR during the division's most recent deployment to Iraq and Syria had a practice of asking the members of the task force why they served when he would give them a move. I heard this question why he served hundreds of times over the course of 7 months with the task force. And with the exception of one brutally honest sailor who answered for the money, every other person responded nobly with answers such as for my country or for my family. As I approach today, I ask myself the same question: why do I serve? And the answer is simply because of the soldiers in front of us, who live and comprise the culture of this great division. I came here 2 years ago with a vision of the role for the devoted. The soldiers in front of us took that vision, tested it, challenged it, went through multiple CPX as a warfighter in deployment, and ultimately through their own innovation brought that vision to reality. Each specialty charted its climb to contribute to the lethality of the division in its own particular way. And every member worked with the other to ensure their efforts were complementary. So for the leaders and the soldiers of the DeBarty and the division's fires and enterprise, and I use the term enterprise very loosely because it involved everyone just about. Any success that DeBarty achieved during my tenure is the result of your innovation and hard work. Your actions have shaped the discussion about DeBarty's across the Army. Thank you. Thank you so much for all you've done. I am deeply honored by the support each of you has given me and will forever be very proud to